So I have spent hundreds of hours playing this game, testing this game, talking to the veteran players of this game, and these tips and tricks are the ones that I personally use the most. And today I'm going to share them with you. All right, look. If we just Googled Stranded Deep tips and tricks, Stranded Deep how to, Stranded Deep guide, you're literally going to get thousands of hits. We're going to get things like Stranded Deep guides, Stranded Deep tips and tricks, Stranded Deep let's plays, Stranded Deep reviews. There's going to be a ton of information. And if you're brand new, let's be honest, this is a lot of information to remember. I have made a lot of guides for this game. And I just didn't go and play and say, oh, I'm going to make a guide. I went in, I tested, I retested just to make sure that that information was correct. I went and talked to the veteran community that's been playing this game since the beginning of early access. And these are the tips and tricks that I find the absolute most useful when I play. If you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am Granddaddy Gamer. I make easy to follow, quick and simple guides so that you can get back to gaming. And if you like the content that you're about to see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so you can get more content just like this on your video feed in the future. So let's just get into it. Number one, multitasking runs. So what I mean specifically about this is, say I'm going to an island because I need more fibrous leaves and I need more sticks. But while I'm there, there's a boar or a couple boars. I can kill those boars, take the meat and the hide, and I can take that back to my camp. While I'm at the island, maybe there's a shark, I can get that as well. Maybe there's some stone that I can mine. Doing more than one thing and making your run worth it. I use this tactic for just about every survival game that I ever play. I never go to one section and just do one thing. And it seems simple, but there's actually a lot of players and a lot of people in general that do this for whatever reason. But if you multitask and do more than one thing while you're there, it'll literally just make things a lot easier for you. Multitasking actually leads to my second point, which is poisoning and using it to your advantage. First of all, before you go taking risks or anything like that, make sure you have antidote made and either in your inventory or nearby where you can get to it. Then, say if you're on a new island and you get bit by a snake and you get poisoned, or you're in the water and a lionfish, say, stings you and now you're poisoned, use it to your advantage. The lionfish can't poison you twice. Just make sure that the water snake doesn't bite you, because he can do damage to your health. He won't poison you, but he definitely will do damage to your health, and that is a big problem when you're poisoned. But go in there, mine the clay in the water, check those wrecks, get more fish for your food, do whatever you can while you can until it gets to an uncomfortable level on your health, and then drink your antipoison and cure yourself. The third tip that I want to talk about, and I've never really put this in any of my tips or guide videos, is making small bases all over the map. So if we pull up this map and we go ahead and take a look at this. Now, what I like to do in this game specifically is set up small little outposts all over. Now, I'll have my main base where I'll have everything and all my stuff, but I will set up little outposts all over this map. That way, when I go far away from where I'm at, I have a bed, water, a smoker or a hobo stove, or something that I can use to cook food, maybe one or two containers where I can store stuff like maybe an antipoison, maybe some spears, things of that nature, because it makes it a lot more comfortable for me while I'm out exploring this map. And let's face it, we all get lost from time to time. If you get lost, you're going to have different little camps all over that you're going to be able to be comfortable at. You're going to have water available, you'll have something to make food on, you'll have a bed to save and sleep, and it's going to make your game so much easier. I always use this strategy, and I've had viewers commenting on multiple times saying, why don't you just use a bedroll? Bedrolls are great if you're traveling. You can definitely use them. I use it myself, but I like to have a little camp somewhere off to the side, maybe usually right off on the edge of the coast, and it just works so much better for me. Now, I said earlier that I put out a call to ask all the veteran players for tips and tricks so that I could have a tips and tricks videos for newer players from veteran players, because these people have been playing the game since the beginning of early access. And I really wasn't disappointed. Like, they hit me with all kinds of stuff. One particular tip, just the simplicity of it, that just blew my mind, and I never thought about it. Just, I use it to this day. And that's the tip from Evolution, where she said, when you're thirsty, instead of just getting a coconut and breaking it open and drinking the coconut water, which we know you're only going to be able to drink 2 coconut waters before you get sick on the third one, grab 4 fibrous leaves, make a lashing, and then use that lashing with the raw, unhusked coconut and make it into a coconut flask. The coconut water becomes fresh water, and then you can drink it. This goes back to the multitasking that I was talking about earlier in the video, where doing more than one thing, because now we have a flask that we can use for anti-poison or a breath boost or whatever it is, and I can still have coconuts if I'm hungry. Now, the last point that I want to talk about, and that I really take into consideration when I played this game and a lot of other survival games, is risk versus reward. Is it worth it to you? And what I mean by that is, say for instance, I just made a guide about the best way to hunt sharks. Now, I use unrefined spears on my raft to hunt that shark. Now, I've had other viewers comment and say, you know, if you just use a refined spears, you could do so much more damage. If you used refined spears, you could one-shot a snake. That's true, and that's worth it. So this is the risk versus reward that I'm talking about. Now, to use a refined spear on land where I'm actually not going to lose that particular item, because a refined spear takes a lot more items to craft than an unrefined spear. So yeah, I would use that for either boss fights or killing like boars or snakes or crabs or whatever, giant crabs if you're in PC. But for hunting sharks in the water, no, I will never use it, because the reward is not worth the risk to me. I throw it in the water. If I miss, that spear is gone, and it's resource intensive. It's not like I can't get more resources, but it takes more. It costs more for me to make each one of those spears, and I'm going to need multiple spears to kill that shark. So I tell you, and the one thing that I think about every time is risk versus reward. Is it worth it to me to do this? I could do it, but should I do it? These are the strategies that I personally use on a regular basis, whether I'm live streaming on Sundays, Stranded Deep, or I'm just doing some Let's Plays to record for later. I use these strategies, and you will see them in the gameplay. Memberships are now live, and if you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member by clicking the join button down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and if you have any other tips and tricks that I haven't covered before previously, definitely leave a comment down below. But everybody, have an awesome day.